You see their symbols everywhere: the pyramid, the eye, the number 13. But who are they? A secret society controlling the world? Or just a conspiracy theory gone viral? Every generation has feared the shadows behind the throne. The idea that our choices, our freedom, might be an illusion. That behind every war, every economic crash, every major cultural shift, there's a hidden hand. For centuries, the name Illuminati has echoed through whispers, headlines, and YouTube comment sections. They're blamed for everything: global financial systems, political manipulation, even music videos. But where did this name come from? And more importantly, who are they, really? This is not just about conspiracy, this is about power. Who holds it, how they keep it, and how far they'll go to protect it. Chapter 1. The Origins of the Illuminati. Bavaria, 1776. Forget Hollywood. The real Illuminati didn't start in a pentagram-lit basement. It began in a university lecture hall. On May 1st, 1776, in the electorate of Bavaria, modern-day Germany, a professor named Adam Weishaupt founded a secret society called the Order of the Illuminati. His goal wasn't satanic ritual, it was philosophical rebellion. Weishaupt, frustrated by the influence of the Catholic Church and the monarchy over intellectual life, envisioned an organization of free thinkers devoted to Enlightenment ideals like reason, secularism, and liberty. Think less demon worship, more radical academia. His Illuminati wasn't huge. At its peak, it may have had 1,500 to 2,500 members, mostly scholars, jurists, and nobles across southern Germany. They operated under pseudonyms, like characters in a spy novel, and used a ranking system similar to Freemasonry. But unlike Freemasons, their true goal was political: to influence governments from within, weaken the church's grip, and spread rationalism. They infiltrated lodges, recruited high-ranking officials, and built a network of influence. But power breeds paranoia. By the 1780s, conservative forces in Bavaria caught wind of their activities. In 1785, the Illuminati was officially banned. Members were arrested, documents seized, the order was declared dissolved. That should have been the end, but it wasn't. Because from the ashes of history, a new narrative would rise, one far darker and far more enduring. Chapter 2. Enlightenment or Elitism. At first glance, the Illuminati might seem noble, an elite of intellect, not bloodline. But there's a fine line between liberators and manipulators, and Weishaupt walked it tightly. The group structured itself like a pyramid of knowledge. This ideology mirrors later technocratic thinking, where elites make decisions for the greater good, whether the public consents or not. Though they claimed to stand for liberty, the Illuminati structure was hierarchical and opaque. Was this hypocrisy or strategic genius? Moreover, while the group was anti-clerical and anti-royalist, it still relied heavily on noble sponsors, suggesting that it didn't seek to overthrow power, but rather redirect it. Weishaupt's Illuminati wasn't democratic. It was a brain trust for the few, a secret intellectual aristocracy. And in many ways, it became the prototype for every secret cabal theory that followed. The irony? They were crushed just as their ideas began spreading across Europe, with the French Revolution erupting only a few years later. Coincidence? Or a ripple from a secret stone dropped into the pond of history? Chapter 3. Banned, but not forgotten. When Bavaria outlawed the Illuminati in 1785, It did more than disband a club. It lit the match for centuries of suspicion. Despite the ban, rumors swirled that the order had survived underground. Some believed its members had fled to France, helping fuel the French Revolution. Others claimed they had merged with Freemasonry, embedding themselves within already powerful networks. In 1797, two books emerged that shaped everything to come. Memoirs illustrating the history of Jacobinism by Augustin Baudouel, Proofs of a Conspiracy by John Robison. Both authors argued that the Illuminati had survived the purge, infiltrated Freemasonry, and were orchestrating a global revolution to destroy religion and monarchy. According to them, the Illuminati didn't die. They went global. These writings exploded across Europe and America, especially as chaos erupted in revolutionary France. George Washington himself acknowledged receiving a copy of Robison's book and wrote that he was aware of the doctrines of the Illuminati. From then on, conspiracy was baked into the brand. The Illuminati was no longer just a historical footnote. It became the invisible hand behind world events. Over the next 2 centuries, the myth expanded. The Illuminati were blamed for assassinations of monarchs, the creation of central banks, world wars, secret global summits like Bilderberg, the rise of the UN, the EU, even the internet. Their image morphed from Enlightenment rebels into global puppet masters. Were they real? Were they reborn? Or had their symbolic power simply taken on a life of its own? Chapter 4. Infiltration or Integration? The Freemason Connection. Any conversation about the Illuminati inevitably leads to one organization, the Freemasons. Founded in the 17th century, at least in its modern form, Freemasonry is a fraternal order full of symbolic rituals, moral teachings, and secret handshakes. It's real, it's global, and it has long attracted the powerful, from presidents to pop stars. Weishaupt knew this. That's why he instructed his Illuminati followers to infiltrate Masonic lodges. Why build a network from scratch when you can co-opt one already embedded in every city? And it worked. Several Masonic lodges, especially in Germany, were quietly absorbed. The two systems shared many values: secrecy, symbolism, hierarchy, and a belief in moral enlightenment through knowledge. But what if the Illuminati didn't just infiltrate? What if their ideas merged into Freemasonry's deeper currents? What if some branches became a new hybrid, a hidden esoteric elite within the broader Masonic network? This theory fueled 19th century paranoia. European monarchies feared Masonic plots. The Catholic Church condemned Freemasonry as satanic, and whispers of the Illuminati's return grew louder. Today, Masonic symbols like the all-seeing eye and unfinished pyramid appear everywhere, from the US dollar to pop culture. Is it mere symbolism, or a legacy of absorption and evolution, with the Illuminati's core mission hidden in plain sight? The deeper you look, the blurrier the line becomes. Chapter 5. Banking, Bloodlines, and the Rise of Global Control. Now we enter the heart of the modern Illuminati narrative: global control through finance and lineage. In this version, the Illuminati is not just a society, it's a dynasty, a tightly connected network of families: Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Morgans, who control central banks, multinational corporations, and governments. They don't meet in basements. They meet in boardrooms, private retreats, and exclusive forums like Davos or Bilderberg. How did this idea take root? It began in the 19th century, when banking dynasties began exerting international influence. The Rothschild family, in particular, was both admired and feared for their vast wealth and influence over European finance. By the early 20th century, conspiracy theories emerged suggesting these families weren't just powerful, they were coordinating global events: wars, economic collapses, regime changes. According to these theories, the Illuminati established central banks to control nations, create debt-based economies to enslave populations, use international institutions like the IMF or World Bank to enforce economic control, maintain generational power through marriage and secrecy. This view paints the world not as a chaotic system, but as a rigged game, designed by a few, played by many. Is there truth to this? Chapter 6. The Age of Propaganda, Media, Celebrities, and Influence. In today's world, power doesn't just come from wealth or weapons. It comes from narrative. Control the story, and you control perception. Control perception, and you control reality. If the Illuminati survived, they didn't remain in dusty lodges or marble halls. They moved into television studios, record labels, and Silicon Valley boardrooms. What better way to influence the masses than through the very tools we trust, love, and consume daily? According to modern theorists, the Illuminati uses pop stars to normalize symbols and messaging, Hollywood films to shape global culture, mainstream news to frame truth and suppress dissent, social media algorithms to redirect focus and emotion. Artists like Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Lady Gaga, and Kanye West have all been accused of Illuminati affiliation. Why? Because of music videos featuring pyramids, all-seeing eyes, checkerboard floors, or occult hand gestures. Are these just aesthetic choices? Or part of a symbolic language understood only by the initiated? Let's be clear. These celebrities may not be members of a literal cabal, but in this view, they are used as conduits, willingly or not, to spread certain mimetic codes. Even advertising is implicated. Subliminal cues, flashing words, color psychology. It's not about mind control, it's mood control. And when enough moods align, you get movements, mass reactions, behavior shifts. In short, the age of brute force is over. This is the era of narrative warfare, and the Illuminati, if they exist, have mastered the art of turning attention into control. Chapter 7. Symbols and Signals, the Hidden Language of Power. Symbols are the ultimate form of stealth communication. They transcend language. They bypass logic. They speak directly to the subconscious. And according to Illuminati lore, they are everywhere. The all-seeing eye, the pyramid, the owl, the phoenix, the obelisk, the number 13. These are more than recurring motifs. They are said to be markers, branding the system like a signature. Look at your US dollar bill, the eye inside the triangle, the 13 steps of the pyramid, the Latin phrase, Novus Ordo Seclorum, New Order of the Ages. Coincidence? Perhaps. But the repetition across institutions, from banks to music labels, governments to NGOs, suggests a deeper meaning. Freemasonry also uses square and compass symbols, checkerboard floors, duality, and veiled references to Luciferian light, the idea of knowledge gained through rebellion. But why hide meaning in plain sight? Because that's the point. According to occult philosophy, power grows when it's recognized by the initiated and ignored by the masses. Symbols act as energetic claims, branding environments, people, and events with subtle intent. Even major global events are said to be staged in ritualistic patterns, aligned to specific dates, lunar phases, or numerological codes. Skeptics say this is coincidence, that humans are pattern-seeking creatures. But what if certain elites are deliberately using ritual symbolism to channel intention? What if modern power isn't just economic, but esoteric? Chapter 8. Mind Games, Psychological Manipulation of the Masses. Forget tinfoil hats. Real control doesn't come from alien chips or fluoride. It comes from predictable behavior. The rise of behavioral science, cognitive psychology, and neuromarketing has made it easier than ever to shape human decision-making, often without people realizing it. Now imagine if a group, not necessarily calling themselves Illuminati, was using this data to engineer societal responses. This isn't theory, it's the foundation of Cambridge Analytica, harvesting data to sway elections, mass formation psychology, building unified emotional states through fear or outrage, predictive algorithms, serving content to reinforce beliefs and drive division, controlled opposition, offering false alternatives to keep true dissent fragmented. The goal? Not to control you completely, but to limit your range of motion. Like a mental sandbox. You think you're free, but you're playing on a board designed by someone else. Modern Illuminati theory proposes that mass media, education systems, and digital platforms all reinforce a core narrative matrix. Distrust intuition, worship science but only approve science, fear the other side. Stay distracted, stay dependent. This isn't just politics, it's psycho-spiritual warfare, aimed at detaching people from inner sovereignty and replacing it with programmable emotion. Is it too paranoid to suggest this, or too naive not to? Chapter 9: Theories, Myths, and Misdirection. Here's the twist. What if the Illuminati isn't what you think? What if the myth itself is part of the mechanism? In intelligence operations, there's a tactic called limited hangout. Release a portion of the truth to distract from the full scope. Give the public a digestible conspiracy to obscure a deeper reality. The term Illuminati may have become a catch-all distraction, a lightning rod to absorb suspicion, discredit dissent, and turn inquiry into entertainment. Every time a rapper flashes a triangle or a celebrity covers one eye, people cry, "Illuminati!" and instantly discredit themselves. The media laughs, critics roll their eyes, and the real architects of systemic control remain invisible. So what's the truth? Maybe there is no singular cabal called the Illuminati anymore. Maybe it's a meme, a metaphor, a projection of our deepest fears about unseen power. Or maybe the most effective power structure is one that no longer needs a name, one that has evolved from secrecy into normalization. From the shadows into the spotlight. From taboo to trend. Chapter 10. What is real power? At this point, you might ask, so what now? Was the Illuminati real? Yes. Historically, absolutely. Are they still operating today in the way YouTube clickbait suggests? Maybe not. But the idea behind the Illuminati is more important than any fact, because it reminds us of a deeper question. Not just politicians or CEOs, but ideologies, networks of influence, systems so embedded they feel invisible. Education, banking, media, technology. Whether or not a secret cabal exists, the reality is this: power always centralizes, and systems tend to protect themselves. The lesson of the Illuminati isn't about devils or pyramids, it's about how easy it is to lose control of your own mind when narratives are managed by the few. So what do? We stay curious. We study history, not headlines. We question the symbols, the stories, the cycles. We reclaim what the Enlightenment once sought to give us: sovereignty of thought. And maybe, just maybe, we become the light in a world designed to keep us in the dark. Maybe the Illuminati isn't hiding in some secret chamber beneath the Vatican. Maybe it's in the subtle cues, the approved scripts, the questions we're never taught to ask. True power doesn't shout, it whispers. And if you've made it this far, you're not asleep. You're listening. If this journey opened your eyes, even just a little, don't forget to like this video. It tells the algorithm you're awake. Subscribe if you're ready to question more than what they want you to believe. And tell us in the comments, do you think the Illuminati still walks among us? Or is the real control much closer than we think?